Hey everyone, it's Stephanie, and this is a snippet of a Patreon episode that went out today. I recently started a series called The House at the End of Fear Street on Patreon, where I and a guest are going through the books in R.L. Stine's iconic young adult horror series, Fear Street. It has been such a fun project. The episodes, like I mentioned, are available at patreon.com/books in the freezer at the malevolent spirit level. So here is a little bit of my conversation with Brian McAuley talking about the second book in the Fear Street series, The Surprise Party.
I have a note and I'm like, wait, there's another party happening before the actual surprise party? I was like, how much
Yeah,
more can we delay the party?
I know. Well, also, that party was on a Monday night. And I was like, man, I did not have an active social life in high school. So maybe there were like teen ragers happening on Monday nights.
Yep.
But I was like, wow, I missed out if that's what that was like.
I have a
Just a-
lot of notes of that ilk of things that I'm like, did I miss something? Including one that's pretty innocuous, which is that she keeps talking about Meg has a psych paper that she's working on. And I was like, wait, did kids take psychology in high school? And I asked my girlfriend, and she was like, yeah, I totally took psychology in high school. And I was like, oh, right. I went to a Catholic school. So I had to take classes on scripture instead of psychology. So I missed
they
out.
can't be having you learning that.
No, it's dangerous to learn how the brain works when you're.
Yeah, when I was in public school, they definitely had AP Psych. I think right off the bat, there are so many characters introduced that I think it really took me until I finished the book to figure out who everyone was. And I had to go back to the beginning and be like, okay, this is what you were all doing. There's a lot thrown at you
Yeah.
right at the start.
Yeah, I was so confused. And it's fun. I'm a writing professor, and this is a note I give often to students. Is like on page one, they like throw 12 different character names at you, and I'm like, well, let's slow it down. We need to like take some time so we can actually sit with these characters. But this book did that, where I was like, I don't know who's who or what their relationships are. And it's also, there's a lot of, he's my second cousin, he's my half brother. He's like all these like
Yeah.
familial dynamics as well.
I had to keep going back because yeah, Brian is Meg's cousin. And they did keep reiterating that where they're like, I'm sorry he's weird. I know he's your cousin and all.
Listen, I'll try not to harp on how upsetting it was that Brian just kept getting if you did a word search for the word weird, it would probably come up like 63 times in this 150 pages, and it's always about Brian. I was
Always
like,
about Brian.
but that's how I knew he was a red herring. He's the
Yeah.
misunderstood character who, in the end, yeah,
He just wants to play wizards and dragons in the
yeah.
woods.
I know. He was just dissociating the whole way through, apparently, until the
Yeah.
very end when somebody finally says, poor Brian. And I was like, thank you. Took long enough.
Oh my god. Well, so much into this, like I was reading this book and I was like, is there some type of steroid abuse epidemic going on at Shady Side? Because all of these guys have the shortest tempers. Everything sets them off, and that is noted immediately where in the first chapter they're all out on a spring day bike ride and Tony gets a flat tire and he's like throwing his bike and she's like, he does that sometimes. He gets
Yeah.
mad.
That was one of my notes was Dwayne, Tony, Brian, all these boys need therapy. Like these kids are not, these young boys are not okay. They're
Very
dissociating, they're raging, they are unwell.
well, and we haven't even gotten into they all are still dealing with a major trauma nobody has dealt with. And even the female characters, it's just kind of like, oh, anyway. Like
They're
Shannon, she likes to just push things down and get through it. That's why she doesn't talk about how her brother was shot in the woods. It's
uh
fine.
100%. There's a early on somebody, I think, I don't know if it's Meg or Shannon, who talks about how Tony's been, quote, so moody ever since Evan died and even cried at the funeral. I'm like, God forbid this young boy had food and some tears at his friend dying.